Welcome to today's Explainer. If you're a hospital administrator, a clinical director, or really anyone on a medical executive team, well, you already know that AI is dominating every single conversation in healthcare right now. It is everywhere. But actually separating the hype from the practical, on-the-ground reality, that's a massive challenge. So today, we're going to provide a high-level briefing for you and your clinical teams on how AI is actually being integrated today. We're going to look at how it's currently functioning as this invisible, highly effective assistant rather than, a clinical replacement.
All right, let's look at the agenda. We'll be covering 1. Combating sepsis with AI. 2. Precision in operating rooms. 3. Global neurological monitoring networks. 4. Ethics and data privacy. And 5. Human-centered AI integration.
Section 1. Combating sepsis with AI. Let's start with the immediate, super high-stakes value of AI in acute settings, specifically looking at the leading cause of hospital death across the United States, sepsis. 30,000. That is a staggering number, and it represents the sepsis cases across the Cleveland Clinic system last year alone. Out of those 30,000 cases, there were about 2,000 deaths. As administrators, you know exactly how incredibly fast sepsis moves, right? It's a life-threatening medical emergency. But here is the genuinely incredible news for your clinical teams. The Cleveland Clinic's new AI monitoring efforts have actually started driving those fatality numbers down by hundreds per year. That's absolutely huge.
And this brilliantly illustrates the parallel workflow that AI can create for your staff. Picture this. A patient comes into your ED complaining of chest pain. Naturally, your frontline doctor is totally zeroed in on ruling out a heart attack. Sepsis probably isn't the very first thing on their mind. But while the doctor is focusing entirely on that crucial human conversation, the AI is acting as a constant, silent security system. It's pulling background data simultaneously, heart rate, temperature, oxygen levels, and it's cross-referencing all of it to ask, wait, does any of this fit a pattern of sepsis? It literally provides an invaluable safety net without interrupting the clinician's workflow at all.
Section 2. Precision in operating rooms. Now, let's look at the stark operational contrast in surgery. Down at Duke Health, spine surgeon Dr. Brett Rokos is using an FDA-approved AI tool with Proprio advanced sensors. In traditional surgery, a clinician relies heavily on their own eyes, which naturally can sometimes leave blind spots. But this AI acts a lot like a GPS in your car. It digitally replicates the patient's spinal anatomy to give the surgeon a real-time 3D view. For an administrator, the metrics here are a total game changer. This tech has already been used in over 100 surgeries, and it is effectively shortening complicated, hours-long procedures. That means patients require less anesthetic, they spend way less time asleep on the operating table, and they experience less bleeding. You're getting better patient outcomes and more efficient OR utilization all at the same time.
Section 3. Global neurological monitoring networks. Moving beyond the operating room, AI's versatility scales up massively, shifting from local acute care to long-term, cross-border monitoring. To really grasp the scale of what's coming, we have to look at the world's first neurological AI model, which is currently being tested right now at the Cleveland Clinic. As Dr. Eamon Najam, who runs the hospital's epilepsy center, notes, seizures are storms of electricity happening in the brain. Because of that, this groundbreaking AI model isn't trained on text like the AI chatbots we hear about every day. Actually, it's trained entirely on electrical brainwaves. The really crucial takeaway here is how this augments a global healthcare workforce. The Cleveland Clinic has a central monitoring unit looking at live brainwave recordings from patients in Ohio all the way to Abu Dhabi in the UAE. Staring at these screens for hours, just trying to spot a sudden electrical storm, is incredibly hard on the human eye. But the AI? It is always on. It never blinks. It recognizes subtle patterns way faster than a human ever could, giving clinicians an unbelievable 40 to 50-second head start on diagnosing a seizure. To put that into perspective, half a minute of lead time in neurology is an absolute eternity, and it can dramatically alter patient care.
Section 4. Ethics and data privacy. So, having established the undeniable clinical value of these tools, we absolutely must pivot to the core administrative challenges your hospital network is going to face during implementation. Because the technology is really only half the battle. Take a look at this quote from Kristen. She's an epilepsy patient who's been searching for answers since 2016, and she perfectly captures the core requirement of your patients. When asked about AI looking at her brainwaves, she said it'd be great if it could find a hidden trace that humans missed. But she immediately followed up with, I don't want it to obviously take the role of clinicians who are there to help advise and make ethical decisions. You see, patients definitely want the precision of AI, but they absolutely demand the ethical judgment and empathy of a human doctor. And as healthcare administrators and leaders, this is exactly where you earn your keep.
You have to actively prepare your clinical staff for this next stage of cyberchondria, where patients are turning to consumer AI models for their own diagnoses and bringing those demands right into the exam room. At the same time, you are the ones who have to navigate strict data privacy laws. You've got to ensure that the patient data feeding these incredible AI models is fiercely protected, completely legally compliant, and that the AI is structurally implemented as an assistive tool, never, ever a clinical replacement.
Section 5, Human-Centered AI Integration. If you need a unifying mantra for your entire hospital network, it really should be this. Use AI to complement human intelligence and use human intelligence to make the final decision. This clear directive straight from the front lines emphasizes that while AI can be an exceptional background monitor catching sepsis or a totally flawless surgical GPS guiding a spinal operation, it is ultimately still humans treating humans. The machine provides the data, the physician provides the care.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this final question. How will your hospital network balance clinical AI innovation with ethical, human-centered care? Take this thought right back to your executive boardrooms. Bring it up in your next clinical staff meeting. The hospitals that are going to thrive over the next decade won't just be the ones with the best algorithms. They'll be the ones who figure out how to use those algorithms to truly empower their human workforce. Spark these necessary conversations today so your network is absolutely ready for tomorrow.